a friend of mine called Bod, talented guy, really good calligrapher and artist, and his brother, a man of exquisite taste, basically said, there's a heavy metal band that rehearses every Saturday morning in Beaumont School. So, just like letting you know that kind of thing. So I kind of went down, just, kind of gate crashed a little bit and said, how's it going? Brought my guitar and blah, blah, blah. And I'm a bit of a guitarist and met this chap called Raj, who seemed to be the band leader. Really nice guy. And so I basically we'd kind of watch them rehearse and stuff like that. And then at kind of halftime, they'd like kind of take a break, and the bass player would play the drums and the drummer would play the bass kind of thing. And I'd kind of join in and we'd have a bit of a play. And then one of the guys said, look, I know these guys looking for a guitar player. And I think this was after like the second session. And I said, okay, yeah. And so then, like, I was still going around with them and nothing. And then 2 weeks later, I got a phone call saying, are you the guitar player? And we're like kind of looking for a guitar player kind of thing. And so I was like, okay, eager beaver kind of thing. And went out, and as I said, like I had to get like a bus, like walk a mile and a half, get a bus, and then kind of like walk another kind of about 3 miles to where they were. And nice guys, really nice guys, great players. And so after the first kind of thing, I was in the band. And you're kind of, it was not Metallica derived stuff. It wasn't Slayer derived stuff. It was, as I said, coming out of like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden. So it was first generation speed metal stuff. The other thing, I mean, like we were kind of doing, it wasn't kind of Guitar Hero stuff either. Talk about that in a sec. It was kind of band orientated, like they had a concept, they had ideas, and I was kind of adding ideas. I said, like, what about this, what about that kind of thing, kind of very fast, kind of tremolo strumming kind of things, kind of strumming very fast, and kind of harmony riffs, harmony lines, unison lines, but fast stuff, kind of power chords, and but then kind of like there was dynamics, breaking it down into kind of open chord passages and stuff like that, and then kind of twin lead kind of stuff, and all that. One thing that was amazing, I mean, I was enjoying it, like, but one thing that was absolutely awesome was that the bass, the drummer was actually using like 2 pedals on the bass drum, but then he got another bass drum, and so he had like a double bass drum kind of thing, which I had never encountered before, and it was absolutely, I don't know how to describe it really, I suppose, I don't know, orgasmic or something like that. It was just absolutely amazing. And so he was kind of, at certain junctures, he'd kind of put in these blast beats, and blast beats hadn't even been kind of promulgated at that juncture yet. And so it was just awesome stuff, kind of coming out of our great friend Les Binks and our other great friend Simon Phillips, coming out of that. And the guy was well up for it, absolutely fantastic. So that was awesome. And again, like kind of doing lots of that kind of stuff. And again, I really enjoyed it. I was in the band, and I think like I was the second guitar player. They had like one other guy, and then me, and then maybe they had 2 other guitar players after that. So like in their kind of lineage, like I would definitely have been the second guitar player in the band, like, and all that kind of stuff. And they were great, and as I said, brilliant guys, really fantastic guys, like, intriguing and great personalities and brilliant players. And I mean, like the double bass drum stuff was magic, but again, kind of, I don't think they'd have been into the fact that I was kind of going to be doing my leaving as well and all this kind of stuff. I think they wanted like complete commitment to the band and various other things. And like they were very far away, like 2 buses walking in the rain, because an intriguing fact, no Eddie Merckx I actually came off the Eddie Merckx on Church Road down by St. Michael's in a gale force 8 wind, and the Eddie Merckx was actually unsalvageable, so that had to be like put into a skip, and I was on a Meals on Wheels run for a family relative, a kind of elderly relative, and on the way back, a kind of gale force 8 wind manifested, and I had to like I got blown off the bike, crossed the road, the bike was in smithereens, I just put it into a skip and walked home, so there was no Eddie Merckx bike, so I was like bussing it, and again, it was a lot, like, and no car, nothing like that, so I just said, like, that's really it, like, so I kind of, that was it, and as I said, I kind of walked away in a kind of misty August morning, and I said, something, give me Japan any day. And but I would like to say this, like with Warm Hands and all that kind of stuff, I'm up there with, Speed Metal Symphony, Cacophony. They were a great band. But I can do that stuff. I mean, that band were the only heavy metal band that I was in. But with Warm Hands, I can do that stuff, no problem. I just don't do it, but I can. And just would like to say something, actually. Jason Becker, you were absolutely magic. Seriously magic. And inspiration to like thousands and thousands of people. And, here's looking at you, kid. Okay? Just wanted to say that. And I'd like to say, and like, to the other guys, Raj, great guy. Raj, I really appreciated that little bit of support there, man. That was good friendship, And eating bread is kind of long forgotten, but really appreciated it. And thank you for listening.